So today we're gonna make a really easy 15-minute pasta sauce. So if you come home, you wanna make dinner really fast, you wanna get it on the table, you don't have any canned or frozen, then this sauce is for you. We are going to just kind of like roll through it, and that way you can see just how easy it is. So first step is we are going to cut our onion and our garlic. Those are kind of the base of our sauce here. Do like 2 decently sized cloves. Okay, twist it. And then the peel will just kind of come off. Maybe, maybe no. Oh, or you could be, I manhandled it and it broke in half. That's fine. All right. I know that I can cut these garlic and onion pretty fast, so I am going to go ahead and turn on my little pot here and start to get it warmed up. Kind of like medium-low, right? And we're gonna do a decent amount of olive oil. Just, you know, like cover the bottom of the pan. This is probably like 3 tablespoons or so. And then I'm gonna chop my onion. So this is, I mean, it's about half a cup of onion. This is a really tiny onion. So, you know, whatever you have, that's what you should use. Just, you know, maybe like, you know, no more than a half a cup. Okay. My other one. Our onion's done. We'll just go ahead and take it and transfer it into our oil. If it's sizzling, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because I do want it to kind of sweat, so I want it to like slowly heat and release its juices. Grab a spoon and just kind of make sure that the oil is enough to coat your onion. You don't want any, like if it's dry in the pan, then they'll burn faster. And so then while that happens, we're just going to go ahead and slice our garlic. You don't have to do it this seriously. You can just kind of rough chop your garlic. It doesn't really matter. You could just do thin slices also. You could also use the kind that comes in a jar. It doesn't have the same flavor. It's not as great. It's not as fresh. So, I mean, if you do have fresh garlic and the time to chop it or mince it, then I would do that instead. And that is our garlic. I'm going to go ahead and add that to my onions and oil. I'm going to make sure that it is lower than it would have to be for the onions because I don't want my garlic to burn. Don't love the flavor of burnt garlic. So just give those a little kind of quick float about the oil. So we're just going to cook these until the onions are nice and translucent. I mean, it's not going to take more than a couple minutes. I'm going to put it's going to be about 1/4 cup of tomato sauce, so 4 tablespoons. Just gonna go ahead and put that in here. All right, so we're gonna crush our tomatoes. I'm using whole Pomodoro, so give me a second to clean that up. So these are San Marzano tomatoes. I use whole, peeled. You can get the crushed variety. I do find that San Marzanos are the best for sauce. They have a nicer, kind of more round, less acidic flavor, and they're not like watery or anything. And then we're going to crush these by hand while our onions are cooking. You can do this in the pot if you'd like, but just for time's sake, I'm going to do it right here. Yes. Yes. So don't wear a white shirt. Okay. So now our onions are translucent, and I'm going to go ahead and pour in all of this. I'm going to wash my hands. All right. So I've got my tomatoes in there, I've got my onions and garlic, and I'm going to put my tomato paste. You can omit the tomato paste, but I find that it kind of helps give you a better flavored sauce without the thyme because it's a concentrated tomato flavor. It's also a little sweet, so it kind of balances the acid in the tomatoes. And so we're just going to stir that in there. Now, if you'd like to add fresh basil, you can go ahead and do that. You can add any sort of dried herbs that you'd like. The world is your oyster here. This is kind of your base for your sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this up. Start her cooking. And I'm going to give her a little salt. I'm going to start with one kind of generous 4-fingered pinch. and then we'll taste in a minute and see where that takes us. I've got it on like medium high to bring it to a boil, and then we'll reduce it down. Okay, so my 10-minute timer is just about to go off. So it's simmered for about 10 minutes, and you can see it's nice and thick. You can thin it out with a little chicken stock, vegetable stock, water even if you must, but you don't need to. If you want like a nice chunky sauce, this is it. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a taste for salt, for flavor here. It's delightful. I don't think it needs any salt. If you have particularly acidic tomatoes, maybe you didn't have tomato paste, you could put a little bit of sugar in there, which will kind of temper some of that acidity if you don't want that intense flavor. It is nice and thick, and this would be amazing on any pasta or a lasagna. If I'm going to use it on a pizza or something like that, because it would be amazing on my pizza recipe, I would immersion blend it with a stick blender or in a food processor or something very carefully to make sure that there's like, it's a little thinner, it's a little looser, and that way it'll spread nicer on my pizza. And that's it. And now your pasta sauce is ready. I like to go ahead and start this when I start my pasta water. If I'm making pasta, I'll go ahead and start my pasta water and then get my sauce going, and then by the time my sauce is done, my pasta's done, and dinner is on the table in under 30 minutes. Just saying. Just because it's fast also doesn't mean that you can't just make a big batch and make it ahead and also freeze it so that you have it on hand whenever. It's just a very nice kind of mild sauce that doesn't have any competing flavors. It's just a beautiful base for whatever you're making.